On a usual day, Officer Peterson approached an individual and inquired as to whether or not he was the person filming in the lobby of the building. However, when the man stated that he did not wish to answer any questions, the officer continued to question the man even after the man stated that he did not wish to answer any questions.
Are you the one in the lobby?
I don't answer any questions.
Okay, you get to answer a couple.
I don't need to answer.
The man inquired about the officer's name and badge number, but he declined to provide his identification to the law enforcement official because he was not guilty of any wrongdoing. When the officer continued to insist, the suspect questioned if he was going to be arrested or detained. When the man asked the officer why he was detained, the officer said that he was attempting to figure out why he was being held. However, the officer did acknowledge that he was being detained.
Why is that?
Can I get your name and badge number?
Well, you can see it's Peterson, right?
Yes. And your badge number?
210.
210.
How about your ID?
Am I being detained?
Yeah, for a minute.
For what crime?
Well, we're filming in the department lobby trying to figure out what's going on.
Is that illegal?
Well, we're trying to figure out what's going on.
After that, the man continued to give the officer a lesson in the law by stating that it was not how it worked and that the officer had no right to detain him if he had not committed any crime. After the man questioned the officer who his supervisor was, the officer began to make excuses, and it was during this time that we found out that the officer is actually a sergeant.
So what are you detaining me for?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out, man.
Well, you can't detain somebody just till you figure it out.
Yeah, actually we can.
That's not how that works, officer.
Okay. That's your
Can I get your supervisor? Can I get your supervisor out here? I'm asking to talk to your supervisor.
And I'm telling you, you can call the police department and ask for him. Okay?
You can't call your supervisor out here?
Look, right here, boss.
So there's nobody above you?
Yeah, there sure is.
So you're a sergeant? So you're a sergeant and you're... Okay, so...
The man still didn't want to answer any questions, and the sergeant had no other choice but to let him go. Next, we have two guys who are filming themselves while they are standing in a public spot, and one of the buildings in that public place happens to be a police station. However, at that point, an officer arrived and voiced his concern over the fact that they were filming individuals entering and exiting the station.
You guys filming the documentary or?
Nah, just the police station.
Any particular reason?
Just so I can do it later.
Any specific reason?
However, the guys showed up ready and stated that they have permission to record in public places. Oh no, just the police station? Any specific reason? The officer continued by saying that the people they are releasing from jail had a right to privacy, to which one of the men replied that they do not, as long as they were filming from a public place. The officer then went on to clarify that persons who are being released from jail have a right to privacy. After that, they reminded the officer that it was their right under the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have security concerns, and when you film in this area where we're releasing people who have been arrested, they have a right to privacy.
No, they don't.
People coming in and out of jail?
If I could see them from public, they don't. So
How do you figure that?
First Amendment, you need to brush up on it. Anything that I can see from public, I can film. You can't trespass what I can see. So as long as I'm standing where I'm allowed to be, I can take a picture.
At this point, you can notice that the cop was getting uncomfortable, so he shifted the conversation and asked them if they were filming for their own personal needs. But they refused to answer that, knowing full well that they don't have to.
So you guys are just filming for your own personal needs and...
We don't want to answer no questions, Jan. We'd rather be left alone.
Okay.
Next, a sheriff's deputy stopped a guy on the road and questioned him about his driver's license, registration, and verification that he had insurance. The individual then inquired as to the purpose of the stop, to which the deputy responded that he would provide an explanation as soon as he ascertained the individual's identity. The individual then gave the officer a lesson by stating that in order to request an ID, a person must first have a cause and be able to justify that reason.
Evening, sir. Deputy Rouse from the Sheriff's Office. How you doing? You got your license, registration, proof of insurance with you tonight?
What's the nature of the stop?
As soon as I know who you are, you have to explain that.
Is this Nazi Germany? Do I gotta provide papers before you tell me why?
Well, if I don't know who I'm talking to, in case you run off or flee, I'd like to know who I'm talking to. So if you don't mind providing your identification, I'll be happy to go forward.
Well, I would take the key out if I could, but I can't.
Okay, no problem.
You do realize in order to get ID from somebody, you have to have a reason and articulate that reason for the stop, right?
I'm well aware of how it works.
Well, you do realize I'm a constitutionalist, so I know this shit. So unless you can articulate, this is my property, yes. Well, I don't live here, but this is my property. This is not where I'm staying, but I own this property.
After then, he went on to disclose the fact that he was aware the officer was tailing him for no apparent reason. When he questioned the constable once more regarding the nature of the stop, the constable responded by stating that he was making an excessive number of turns. When he heard the sentence, the person laughed and then requested for his supervisor. He went on to teach this constable some more about the law before bidding him a good night and retiring for the day.
And I knew you were following me. I knew I used my turn signals. I knew I wasn't speeding. As soon as I see you on the side of the road, I see you hit your f***ing brake lights. I knew you were going to f*** me. I knew exactly what you were going to do. There's nothing wrong with my car. Every light on my car works. So what's the nature of the stop?
Well, the nature of the stop is when you went by, it didn't look like there was a front bumper. And then as I was behind the car trying to run the registration, you took multiple turns and it appeared to be evading me. All I'm doing is checking out what's going on.
You better get your goddamn supervisor. When is it illegal to make turns?
It was illegal to make turns.
Dude, we both know where this is going, and you know you have no reason to pull me over.
All you need in Michigan is reasonable suspicion to make a traffic stop.
Yes, you have to have RAS. But what is your single articulable suspicion?
I heard you were trying to avoid this contact.
Bullshit.
It looked like you had a bumper on the front of the car when you went by.
Dude, I'm not giving ID, because I didn't do nothing wrong.
Is this your car?
It's in my dad's name, yes.
Is it in your dad's name?
Yep. Dude, this is going to make an awesome YouTube video. You just admitted that I committed no crime or no traffic infraction. When is it illegal to make turns?
Well,
there is a bumper on my car. Just leave me alone. I'm not doing nothing. Right? Okay, you have a good night.
The next thing that happened was that some people called the police to report that a man was on their property. When the police arrived to question the individual, he claimed that he was not on private property when they questioned him. The officer then asked him for his identification in order to give him a trespass notice, but the man reminded the officer that he did not require his ID for that purpose. The officer was adamant, but the suspect would not budge from his position.
Parking lots, man. Make sure you guys are doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah. Okay, man. What's your name?
For what?
I'm just contacting you. I just have to. So
you have to.
So there's a law that just came out.
Okay.
To where anybody I contact, even if it's consensual, I have to get your demographics that I can
really
say that I contacted you. Yes.
After the officer realized that he was dealing with a person who should not be trifled with, he changed the subject and accused the man of parking in a restricted area of the parking lot. The man continued to admonish him and then informed him that the location in question is actually a public parking lot.
That's not the law.
Yes, it is.
Nope.
With Senate Bills 217.
No, this is not a stop and ID state.
Okay, so I have to say that I did contact you.
Okay, good. You say that.
Okay. And also, when I run the plate,
okay,
it is coming back with a warrant hit.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that you're not the person.
Nope, I'm not the person.
So can I get your name?
No.
And why not?
Well, this is first you said that you have to ID me. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
This is not a stop and ID state.
Says who?
What do you mean says who? It's the law. It's the law,
so
sir.
The law states now that anybody I contact,
okay,
I need to get an ID so I can say that I contacted you.
No, I don't think so. That's not the law. This is private property, sir.
It is not. It's a public parking lot.
No, this is private property.
It is a public parking lot.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sorry.
In the end, the man claimed that the police officer was frightening his children, but the officer accused him of not cooperating with him. The officer gave up and went home when the suspect continued to refuse to provide his identify.
You're scaring my kids.
And having the courage to stand up for what is right may make a difference in the world. Let us know your opinion in the comment box. If you love stories like this, subscribe and turn on notifications for more. Thanks for watching.